Welcome to Own the Chaos.
Chaos Crew.
The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And then there's the Kronos Group. Yes, people, how could I not have a pot stock on this list?
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
All right, we got the top stocks to buy if Kanye wins the presidency.
Taking it to the soups, being relatable and hilarious.
That is crazy.
We have a nice super boner, quite a lovely green one.
Over $31.
We have a nice super boner.
What's up, guys? Good morning. Welcome to Own the Chaos. We got 106 people. We already got 106 people watching. That's pretty awesome.
Holy Shizer. Holy Deshaun Kaiser. What's up?
So in case you haven't checked or peeped the title, we are going live, especially for you guys this morning at 9 a.m. before the market opens to talk about this Tesla inclusion into the S&P 500. It is now going to be in company with the likes of Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, and Microsoft. Can you finally believe it, Fat Man Zoom?
I can believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew it was going to happen. I think you talked about potentially the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Christmas came early, people. You're welcome. I know a lot of you have it. I saw Alfred said he just got into it yesterday.
Wow, talk about timing. God damn.
Perfect timing for you. It's been a fun-filled past 12 hours.
Yes.
We had Costco announce their special dividend. We had Walmart earnings, Home Depot earnings, Amazon online pharmacy. It's been wild, but the big dog Tesla comes through again and says, hold my beer.
That's right. That's right. Right now, Tesla's up $52 from yesterday's close, sitting at right around 13%. And so this is going to actually take place December 21st, in case you haven't read the fine details of this Tesla S&P inclusion. It's not happening right now. It's not going to happen until December, and it's actually going to happen, in a couple of phases here. So it looks as if they're trying to figure out if they're going to split this inclusion up into two parts to try to, I guess, keep the balance, if you will, in the S&P 500. So for you guys that don't know, the S&P 500 is an index that doesn't like extreme volatility, doesn't like companies that are overweight and kind of really heavily influencing the entire index. Now we've seen this before though, like sometimes Apple will influence the entire index just because it just carries that much weight to it. But with Tesla, it's been so volatile that any crazy movement out of this thing just sends the S&P out of whack. So they're going to be doing that appropriately where it makes sense. But now that Tesla has finally come up to a line to where it's actually moving within the same type of volatility as a Ford or GM or some of the other automakers, the S&P finally decided that this was definitely going to be a time where it made sense to include Tesla into the S&P 500. Did you know, Fat Man Zoom, that in that 20 minutes of it going crazy from 408 all the way up to 460, that Elon Musk was worth $15 billion more dollars?
I did not know that, but that doesn't surprise me. That's wild.
$15 billion. Like, I can't even imagine $1 billion, like what that actually looks like. And he just made 15 of those in 20 minutes. That's just insane. He's now his net worth is now higher than Mark Zuckerberg's.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So FYI, the chat is still open to public. So maybe we'll leave it open to public for a little bit, but eventually switch over.
Yep.
We'll give maybe like 10 minutes or so for people. And for you guys asking a bunch of questions, I see questions about Zoom. I see questions about CVS, maybe in a bit, but not anytime soon.
Yeah.
We'll get to your questions now. Yeah. We'll get to your questions. More importantly, we just want to see how the market reacts in the morning.
Yeah.
When the market opens at 9:30.
Right.
So we'll see how that move is. We'll talk about predictions in that. I do want to talk about all the things I mentioned earlier, but what's interesting is, and you mentioned them breaking it up due to potential volatility. And if you guys don't watch Tesla Daily YouTube channel, I think it's a pretty good YouTube channel. I think he does a good job. He sort of I was watching him last night because he was talking about inclusions, and like the longest inclusion had been like 10 days from the announcement to the actual inclusion. So this is kind of a testament to the potential impact they think it's going to make for it to be so far out from the announcement. And 10's the longest. It's usually like a week or less. So we'll see how that plays. I did want to talk about, because everybody's going to ask us about entry points, about movement. Get your thoughts on sort of your predictions. We obviously don't know, but we'll see what happens. Everybody's talking about that 500 number.
Yeah.
But I wanted to start with, well, so what information can we draw upon? Well, we can draw upon the last time they didn't get in when Etsy got in, right? So they entered three in. It was like Etsy, Teradyne, and I think it was CTLT. And there might have been one more, but they had, I was looking back at the charts, and if you want to, Etsy's probably the best example, but if you want to pull up the charts, and I can sort of tell you what happened. So for the most part, it was announced September 4th that those three were going to get in.
September 4th, right?
Yeah, September 4th. And then September, I believe 21st was the date that it was actually included.
Okay.
It was pretty sideways. However, from when it got in, if you look at a month out, Etsy was up like 45%. The other two were up, I think, 10 to 15%. So I think people are anticipating this build up to it. I'm not sure, maybe not. I think this is a different beast, Tesla. So it potentially could. But what I think is interesting is we may plan for a sell-off afterwards, when this is shown historically that it's not. Maybe that's institutional.
Yeah.
Who knows? But, you know, it's anybody's guess. But if we look at the last three, they had very, very similar moves.
Yeah. You look at Etsy from the 21st, we'll just call it the 20. Well, yeah, the 21st went from 110 all the way up to 154, almost $155 a share in a matter of about 2 weeks. So, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of anticipation. You also have indexers coming in and scooping this up. I think the S&P index investors will own about 6% of the float. I believe I read that correctly, and anybody can feel free to correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure that was the number. So indexers coming in and buying that much up is going to be also influential on the stock itself too. So, you know, it's just... this is going to be pretty awesome. We look at Tesla right now. It's actually starting to get bought back up just slightly, sitting at 461.50 at the moment. And actually, you can see where I've actually drawn this out, this bullish move on Tesla. And I'm going to move it back out to the 4 hour here real quick and kind of show you what I've been watching. I've just been watching this area, this bullish wedge, I guess, if you want to identify it as that. I've been drawing this out and just kind of been watching this on the daily and the 4 hour chart. And now we're finally, breaking out of this here. I think that we do see a sustained move. There could be potential for a pullback of some sort, especially with a gap up this considerable. I was actually looking for maybe some profit taking or a little bit of a pullback here, maybe around 450. 450 has always kind of been that pretty tough resistance for Tesla. And then it always seems to come back down. Well, now I think it's going to be that new support that we've been looking for at 450. And I agree with you. I think that we do see a sustained move. That ever important or that, I don't know, highly anticipated $500 number, I think it's finally coming.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. In pre-split, that would be $2,500.
Yeah.
The one thing I did want to clarify, when the percentage increase, that was from the 17th. So the 21st of September was the launch day, which was a Monday, I believe. So that Thursday before is when the buying started coming.
Yeah.
So when we think about that play, maybe the Monday before, maybe the week before, good opportunity if you're thinking about getting in. It all depends on how you think this thing's going to go. But it will be rather interesting. I'm really trying to figure out what happens to 500 for me, because I think there's got to be, there's a point at which it's like, okay, this is just getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And we know Tesla is just different, but also I think we got to that point around Battery Day where we're like, Tesla is always going to go up. And so I think being strategic now, I'm not going to ever get out of it. I'm full position plus in it. I know you're full position plus in it, but like,
Yeah.
I do want to establish a point where I trim probably half of what I currently have. And then I'm playing the volatility because we know Tesla can move quickly in either direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely think it makes a lot of sense to, get yourself to a point to where, you're not overexposed in the market. And, Tesla is obviously really volatile, which brings itself a lot of really good opportunities, but also can bring with it its own inherent risk as well. So we want to make sure that we're staying cognizant and being aware of that. Also, we just went to members only chat because people who aren't members just can't behave themselves. So if you guys are interested in continuing the chat, make sure you're hitting the join button next to subscribe. If you can't see the join button, the link is in the description as well. You can become part of the Chaos Crew for $4.99 a month. You can participate in the chats. You can also get a daily watch list, which we put out nice and early this morning, but we put out a daily watch list of stocks that we think might have some moves. Most of the time we get that pretty darn close, and we do really well with that. Everybody who's in the Chaos Crew can attest to how well that daily watch list does, as well as access to our public portfolios. We also do private live streams, all that good stuff for $4.99 a month. Can't beat it. So if you guys want to be a part of that, make sure you're hitting that join button. We'd love to have you over in the Chaos Crew.
Yeah. So other stuff we got going on really quickly in the market. Let's start with your call, bro. Costco special dividend.
Oh my God. I don't know where somebody find that for me, because I said several times, I guess it was probably about a month ago, that the Costco special dividend is coming. And I did not think it was going to be $10 a share, but my God, $10 a share is incredible. So if you guys don't know, Costco actually regularly distributes a dividend each quarter. But every once in a while, it's usually like every 2 years or so, you'll see a special dividend. If the company is doing particularly well, they have a bunch of cash on their balance sheet, they usually give it right back to its investors and employees who are investors. And, this is something that's just absolutely incredible. Usually their regular dividends are about 70 cents per share. This special dividend is $10 a share, more than 10 times the regular dividend. Unbelievable. So we're seeing Costco right now is up about 2%. So it's not really like anything crazy, but for those of you who have been in this, those of you who are longer term investors in Costco, this is why you invest in Costco, right? Because of this dividend. I remember when I worked at T. Rowe Price, Costco was our biggest client, and we would have, when a special dividend came out, we would have employees or Costco employees calling and blowing our phones up. I just got to say, I'm glad I'm not part of that T. Rowe Price call center this morning, because I'm sure it is going crazy. I've never seen a special dividend this high.
Yeah, that's really awesome. The ex-dividend date, I believe, is December 2nd. So if you want to take advantage of that dividend, if you want to play the run up into the dividend potentially, however you want to do it, December 2nd is the date you're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
So know that date, have that on hand. I'm sure that might show up in the watch list leading up to that. The other thing, and Costco is a great company. I don't think we talk about it enough. Not only is a special dividend key and awesome for it, returning to the lockdown is going to be huge for Costco.
Yeah.
So what a great time. If you're in it, you're sitting pretty. But also there's going to be opportunities to get in it. It should benefit over the coming months.
Yeah.
So let's get into the earnings. So Walmart and Home Depot reported earnings, and these were both on our Stock Watch Sunday watch list. So Home Depot, they both beat, which we were not surprised about that. Walmart, we had predictions. Let me see if I can pull this up really quickly. So our predictions for Walmart, the estimates were $1.18 a share. I predicted $1.50. You predicted $1.58. I want to say they came in at $1.34. They beat on revenue as well. They beat 134 billion versus 132. Comps grew 6%, which is really good for a huge company like Walmart, same store comps. But e-commerce grew by like 79%.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so, what we talked about, the notes that I had brought up was we wanted to see some Walmart Plus numbers, which I don't think they actually gave. And that launched in September. But then the other thing was just what share they could do. So it's all about Walmart Plus, what share they can pull from their consumer base. We didn't get that. E-commerce looked great. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of profit taking. I don't expect a big move.
Yeah.
However, still really bullish on Walmart but playing that, I'd put Shopify in the watch list because of the e-commerce growth and Shopify as a partner of Walmart. So that looked really good, really promising, which excites me about Target's earnings tomorrow because I think they do better at e-commerce than Walmart. Yeah.
That's, okay.
From a percentage basis, not from a sheer numbers.
Okay. Yeah.
From a growth basis, they crushed it last earnings. I think they're only going to do better this earnings. So I'm anticipating that one. What are your thoughts on Walmart?
I think Walmart's, we always talk about companies that know how to pivot, are always going to be successful. And Walmart is your textbook, I don't know what you want to call it, poster child of just knowing how to pivot and knowing how to continue to do things that innovate and all that good stuff. They realized that e-commerce was going to be the way to go, and they've realized this before the Rona, but I think that this kind of just pushed everything to the forefront, and they've been able to do it just like that. I mean, it's just been pretty amazing to see how quickly they were able to pivot as well, and that it didn't take any time at all for them. So, yeah, I'm very bullish on Walmart as well. I would say taking advantage of this sell-off at pre-market probably makes a lot of sense. I'd imagine the reason that this might be selling off could be some profit taking, could also be some of that Amazon news as well. It seems to be affecting a lot of stocks that have pharmacies attached to them. So, either way, I think that this could be a nice little dip opportunity for a Walmart. We should see this above 150 today.
Yeah, and keeping in line with the earnings, Home Depot, their estimates were $3.02. We both predicted a beat. I said $3.05. You, smoking crack, said $3.85. They beat $3.18, beat on revenue as well, 33 billion, 3 billion above the estimates. Same store comps were up 24%. And the thing about Home Depot is some people were saying, like, they talked about $1 billion investment in their associates. Amazon did this at the beginning of the pandemic, and I don't understand. I don't know what's going to happen with Home Depot, if that's going to be sort of a temporary bear move at some point. I think that's stupid if there's a bear move on that. You're investing in your people. I think it's a smart move. They also reported strong, consistent growth in November for their sales. So that kind of alludes to, hey, we're going to have another strong quarter, which we already knew. But some analysts were a little bit more concerned. So I think that's reassuring.
Yeah.
Home Depot, they're going to kill it. They're going to continue to kill it. And they also announced, I guess it would be a reacquisition, but an acquisition of HD Supply, which is like the business contractor end. So I thought the earnings was awesome. I'm excited for Home Depot. We've been bullish on it. Nothing's changed here.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've talked about how, Home Depot is going to do well because of the housing industry, and that's why we liked Rocket so much. That's why Zillow went off. That's why D.R. Horton went off. And this is kind of our thought process with Home Depot and even Lowe's, is that we think that this is going to continue to just do well. And yeah, the extra costs on the operating side as it relates to protective equipment for their employees and stuff like that it's just not a big deal. We saw that with Costco, actually. Costco and everything sold off on Costco when they announced that on 2 earnings ago. But it just came roaring right back. If you're going to protect your employees, that means you get to stay open, and that means you get to create more sales. So I don't think that this is a bad thing at all. Not sure what investors are smoking either, but I think this is definitely going to be a good buying opportunity for Home Depot. It's crazy to see this thing red as from yesterday. I just don't understand it at all. I think this is going to be a really good opportunity to scoop up some Home Depot if you guys are interested.
Mark upgraded to level 2. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so Latifa, electrical engineer, asks, why today on CVS? So I think what she's saying is, why the red candle on CVS?
Yeah.
So um, CVS was actually on the watch list, I think, yesterday.
It was.
Really, really poor timing.
Yeah.
But you never can anticipate this type of news. News came out that Amazon is launching an online pharmacy. Subsequently, the likes of CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens tanked.
Yeah.
So, first, we'll talk about Amazon, but then the question really becomes, what do we do with CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid? I think the answer is fairly straightforward, but interesting news about Amazon. Amazon's trying to take over the freaking world. I don't particularly love that they're trying to do everything,
Yeah.
but I'm still bullish on them. Like I don't think they can do whatever the
How
hell they
can you
want to
not
do.
be?
But I guess I like the online side of it. I think that's smart. I think that's good. But that withstanding, this is great for Amazon. Hopefully, it's a catalyst that can get it above that 3,200. But that's the news today. What do you think about the news and the move?
Yeah, I mean, we both agree that I think we both agree that CVS is still going to be a buy here, and I think this is more or less just an absolute gift that Amazon has given us for those of us who feel very strongly about CVS. I said that CVS was cheap yesterday at $72 a share, and now it's a fire sale at this point. It's down 7% pre-market. Look, CVS is still going to be administering COVID vaccines. They're still going to be, I don't necessarily see a lot of people leaving CVS to go to Amazon's pharmacy. I just don't know if I see that. And it's just going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But CVS is going to be a steal. Even Rite Aid. I didn't take a look at Rite Aid. I've just been focused on CVS this morning. But Rite Aid I knew was down. I just didn't know how much. It looks like they're down actually about 11.5%. So this could even be a steal for Rite Aid as well. It is far cheaper if you guys are interested in that. We like CVS as a company much better and is less volatile. But if you want to go a cheaper route and grab up some Rite Aid, I think this might be a good opportunity. Obviously, we'll wait to see what happens after the market opens and kind of gauge it from there. But, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have this kind of reaction on CVS. I just think that I said that CVS was probably going to get to $100 before long, and I think that that's where it belongs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I feel really good about CVS. We talk about this all the time. These are opportunities. Is there anything material? Will this hurt CVS? Maybe years down the road, potentially. But all this should do for CVS is make sure that they focus on their online pharmacy part. Like I would just see that this would be a shift in their model as far as that's concerned. But I don't think that these two can't live together.
Right.
And so they're a specialist. I don't think they're going anywhere. Again, Rite Aid's one we're probably least bullish on. So like maybe somebody like that gets hurt, but you're talking about sort of the leader when you're talking about CVS or Walgreens. I'm fine with either one you go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like both. And I don't think, if this gets down 10%, I mean, I think it's a discount. So
yeah,
I wanted to tell you, not related to the pharma, but Alibaba, Amazon related. So I saw a stat. This is crazy. So Alibaba just had Singles Day, which is essentially Prime Day. Amazon's Prime Day.
Yeah.
Did you know that Alibaba sold $56 billion worth of goods in 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes of Singles Day, and Amazon sold 10 billion in 2 days of Prime Day?
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
That's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Just unbelievable. Like that 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyways, I digress. But all this good stuff happening today. Amazon, did we talk about the chart for Amazon?
I had it pulled up. I didn't talk about the chart directly, but yeah, 3,200 is going to be that area that we probably take a look at and see if it breaks up over that. It's at 3,190 right now. So I've had this area marked for quite some time. It's more around 32.40, I guess, is probably where the more appropriate resistance would be for Amazon. So we'll see if it gets up over that. It's up 2% right now pre-market. More than likely, we probably see that, at least get close to that today. We'll see if it tests it and then can break through on Amazon. Checking back in with Tesla, though, a little bit of a pullback. The overall market is actually down today. The Dow is down quite a bit so far. The only thing that's up right now is the NASDAQ, probably heavily weighted by Tesla this morning. So we'll just continue to watch the overall market, but it's going to be all eyes on Tesla here in about 4 minutes or so when the market actually opens up.
Seabuck, hey, just give you a heads up. Seabuck said, been under a rock, fat man. I knew Singles Day was huge, but that specific statistic, listen, I just added 3, 4, and 5 on my Fat Man Zoom hit list. Feel free to be number 6, bro. Feel free. I'm quick on the trigger. Because I ain't seen you mentioning it. We got a comment section in all of our watch lists. Oh, Seabuck. Oh, just playing. Dom Frown in the house. What's going on? So, man, it's going to be interesting. What do you got your eye on this morning? Obviously, outside of Tesla.
Yeah, outside of Tesla, really, it's kind of just Costco is really going to be the next one that I look at as far as just what's it going to do today, because that dividend is insane, bro. I don't know if I've seen that out of Costco at all, ever. I saw that Bratz had. He said he has a ton of it in his longer term account, and this is where something like having a good strong dividend stock in a long term account really will pay off. You just reinvest that dividend, and it's just more money that you can make on down the line. I think eventually Costco may have to consider a split at some point. We're getting close to $400 a share right now, it's sitting at $387. Pretty crazy to think that this was down below 300, well below 300 during the crash. We can actually look at this on the daily chart and see to ourselves, it was down right down here, 280. So it's just crazy to see how much this has moved in the past 6 months, and we're probably going to see this go even higher today. It's just unbelievable to see a department store like this that doesn't usually have that kind of volatility or that kind of growth do what it's doing right now. I'm just blown away.
Yeah, for sure. Market's going to open in 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. Just want to say what's up to a few people. Juan Berruti says, ¿Qué pasa, muchachos? ¿Cómo estamos, güey? Listen, he's got a Spanish first name and an Italian last name. Interesting. But Seabuck said, proud number 6. Lynn's photo. What's going on? Home Depot versus Walmart. Which one would you choose?
Oh, probably Walmart, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I think Walmart, like I mentioned on Sunday, with the Walmart Plus, I think those numbers, once they come out, they'll definitely be out next earnings, but we should hear rumors on that before then. I think we're going to see some huge numbers.
Yeah.
That bodes well for Walmart. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either one. Whichever
really
one
can't.
You feel most confident in.
You really can't. I was just happened to paying attention to Zoom while you were talking to some folks. Zoom's actually up around almost 2% now. I ended up getting into Zoom as well on this beatdown. I don't know if we talked about it during Stock Watch Sunday, if we talked about it last week, but we've been super bullish on Zoom and thought that this coming back down below $400 was an absolute steal. So it's good to see this is moving back up over 400 as the market gets ready to open up here in a couple seconds. But man, I just wanted to mention that real quick, that I thought that it was cool to see this thing finally starting to move back up. We think $500 is going to be a thing of the past for Zoom eventually. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, and I think Peloton is in that group with as well, as far as that $100 mark. It's trying to stay above 100.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be as well one to keep an eye on. That was beaten down with the vaccine use.
Yep. Yeah, sitting at 406.69. Was super pumped that I was able to grab that on the dip there.
We are open.
Let's go.
Let's go right to Tesla. Okay, we're there.
Although my Weeble just decided to something's going on with it. We'll get a
currently
pullback.
Currently it's around 456, 11.5%. It's looking like it's creeping down a little bit, which is to be expected. We'll see how, as it approaches 450, what happens. Amazon up 1.5%, Costco up 1.5%. Everything's kind of sitting.
Zoom is rolling right now, though.
Zoom's looking good.
Zoom, talk about boner candles in the morning. Yeah, Zoom is rolling here. Look at this. I'll take that all day long. Tesla is pulling back here. So remember what I said at the beginning of the show, 450 was going to be that area that I thought it could pull back to and potentially bounce off of and kind of act as a support. So we'll see if that actually happens right now. So far, so good. It looks as if maybe it will do that. We're just going to continue to watch this. Pre-market, it actually looked like it tried to test that earlier right out of the gate. So, and then it ended up bouncing and moving up further over 460. So we'll see if she's got it in her to hold above 450. I think we can see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get into something real quick.
Costco, what you getting in?
It's a secret.
It's a secret. Some more Golf Shack.
Drive Shack?
Drive Shack, yeah.
No, what is Drive Shack doing? Drive Shack 137. It's down.
Thanks for the donate, Latifah. Appreciate you.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, Zoom does look nice. No, I'm trying to set an order in for Peloton.
Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and look at Peloton real quick. So Peloton, sitting at 102. We've talked about Peloton being an absolute steal under $100. You've had plenty of opportunities, folks, to get into this thing. We like Peloton going into the end of the year. We think that this is going to be one that has a really strong move because of the holiday season, obviously, but then also January, February for those folks who are, setting themselves a resolution. You always see increased gym memberships and that sort of thing. No reason to believe that Peloton won't fall in line with that as well in this space. But Peloton's looking great right now. It's up about 0.5%, especially since it down in its lows in the 90s. This looks great right now.
Yeah. The other thing that was on the watch list that I'm going to keep my eye on today, I may end up getting into it, is Penn.
Yeah.
I mentioned the news is going to come for Michigan in the next couple of weeks. It has to come. I mean, unless they announce that it's not going to happen,
right.
that Michigan's going to open up before the end of the year, which I think that's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
That news has to come in the next 2 weeks for them to open up online gambling before the end of the year. So for people that have been thinking about Penn, again, this is another stock that can move pretty quickly. That's one that I'm going to be having my eye on. That is going to be a stock for December for sure. And when they launch in December, I'm really excited for Barstool Bets in December.
Yeah, man. I actually was watching. So Dave Portnoy, he's got a podcast that he started back up. It's just him, and he has people on there. And he had Ross Gerber, which him and Ross Gerber go back and forth all the time on Twitter. Ross always kind of gives him a hard time, and then Dave Portnoy gives it right back, obviously. But they were just talking about his whole business and how essentially Barstool saved Penn National in a sense, because especially with the Rona and everything that was going on with that, Penn National, a lot of their locations are with REITs, with real estate investment trusts and that sort of thing. So like if they were doing poorly, then their regional casinos, their brick and mortar type casinos could have been in a lot more trouble of closing down and maybe never even coming back had it not been for Barstool and the revenue streams that they were bringing in. It really would have been tough for Penn National. And even Ross Gerber, the investor, he knew of Penn National, but didn't know enough about the company because he was too focused on things like MGM and Wynn Resorts, some of those bigger names that really are more closely related to Vegas than the regional names. And really, Barstool's been putting Penn on the map. And so it's pretty cool to see. And even with Dave talking about how they pretty much built or were a direct reason for success of DraftKings and FanDuel, both of them. It just stands to prove why we think Penn National is just the better out of all of them.
Yeah, for sure. And they're going to continue to crush it. And the reason why Michigan is important because as Portnoy says, like, we all have the same starting line.
Yeah.
And so everybody's going to get in the market at the same time. And I think that's when analysts especially are going to realize the power of their community. So we'll see what happens. That's going to be really exciting. But a few things, we'll take some questions now. Man, there's some good things. There's some things that are looking really good, really tasty out there.
I know. You got Tesla right now. It's actually coming down here, sitting at 452. Came down as low as 450. So it looks as if it's trying to bounce back up and hold that support there. So we'll continue to watch this, but looks to be some profit taking so far.
All right, what questions do you guys have? Baba keeps dipping. Trevor, how has Baba been disappointing to you? Baba's been great, unless you just recently got in. But looks like it's about even right now.
Yeah.
All right, throw those questions out there. Is Rocket popping? I thought it was down. Is it moving up?
It was down pre-market.
Oh, nice. Just went green.
There we go. There we go.
Nick Hill got filled at Rocket at 22.20.
Hell yeah, bro. That was like right at the bottom this morning. 22.16 was the low of the day so far. So what a grab.
2SIMP, sell or hold Tesla and then add if it dips.
I would just hold Tesla and add if it dips. I don't know if I would sell it. And I guess it just kind of depends on how much you have. And we talked about that earlier in the show. Like if you feel like you're overextended and you need to rebalance that portfolio a little bit, then maybe it makes sense to trim some off. But we see Tesla as a hold at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I'd at least wait till the end of the week to decide what you're going to do, to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
And it really depends on where you're in, how you're in. At least have something. I wouldn't, if you want to sell and try to play on the dips, cool, but don't get fully out of it.
Yeah.
Well, do whatever you want, but I don't plan on getting fully out of it. Okay, so
Rocket is
Camilo
still
E,
going
what's
here,
going on,
bro.
Camilo? What's up?
Rocket's still rolling here.
Nice. Rocket's been holding up really well.
Yeah. We're coming up on $23 a share here.
Nice.
Should be rounding that out here very soon. $22.95 is pre-market highs. If we get up above $22.95 today, we should see a really strong move. And we are getting close. Hot
I have
damn.
22.80.
Huh?
What do you have? I have 22.80. What do you have?
That's what I have. No, $22.95 was a pre-market high.
No, I know, but okay. I was saying it was currently at 22.80. It was sounding like you were saying it broke it. But
Oh,
okay.
no.
All right, let me get to this question. Camilo E asks, are futures directly correlated to the market when it opens? Example, if NASDAQ futures are up 1% to 2%, then when the NASDAQ actually opens, will it go 1% to 2%?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So it won't pull it. There's not a possibility that it'll pull back.
Well, yeah, there is. But, if it's 3%, if it let's just say it's up 3% at 9.29, once it ticks over to 9.30, it's not like it starts all over again. It just carries. It's just like if it were pre-market.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly what the question is, but yeah, nothing necessarily will change.
No.
Now, when the market opens, there's more money going into the market. So NASDAQ will move, but it'll move from where it's at.
Come
currently.
on, Rocket.
But that doesn't mean that if it's 1% to 2% pre-market, or the futures are 1% to 2%, that at the end of the day, it's going to be 1% to 2%. It's like anything else. It all depends on whatever the catalysts are in the market and what's going on, if there's any news. So what do you think about Dave Loritz? What do you think about Teladocs?
Teladoc, we love Teladoc. It's going to continue to do well. It's only moved down because of, I just wanted to shout this out real quick. Tesla bounced off of that 450 support perfectly. Now sitting up at 457. To answer that Teladoc question, we think that Teladoc's going to continue to do really well. The only reason that it really came down was because of the vaccine news over the last 2 weeks. Vaccine news isn't going to make Teladoc go away. It's not going to make telehealth go away. If nothing else, it's going to continue to increase in demand, and we like Teladoc long term. So if you've been enduring this bumpy ride, we think that it's worth going through and enduring through because of where we see the future leading to as far as telehealth is concerned. Man, this Tesla move, bro, it's awesome.
Nice.
Incredible.
I just realized, I'm like, why the hell didn't my Peloton go through? I put it in a limit order of $15.
Whoops.
That's never going to fill.
No.
So I set it at 100. So
Let's hope
I have a
not, anyway.
limit at 100. If it breaks below, we're good. Zoom looks like the old Rocket. Zoom looks like Zoom.
Yeah.
It does Zoom things.
It sure does. It sure does. You'll see quick pops like that, and then it'll sell off and fizzle out, and then all of a sudden it goes up 25% out of nowhere. Tesla is getting ready to come back up over 460.
Oh yeah.
Did we call it, or did we call it?
We called it. Looks good.
Hell yeah, bro.
Zoom's looking like it's testing the 400. We'll see how that goes. I mean, everything's playing out pretty status quo, but Zoom looks great. Just broke that 460.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. Everybody wants that 500. but
So for those of you who are watching and are not in the Chaos Crew, we talked about, I put this in the watch list as well. I put Tesla in the watch list. Of course I did, because why wouldn't I have? But I said that 450 was going to act as a support, and damned if it didn't come back and do that. So if you guys are wondering, what kind of value does the Chaos Crew bring you? This is the kind of value it does. Came down to 450.75, bounced right off of that support, and now going right back up over 460. That's where I told our folks, I was like, if you're not in, or if you're looking to potentially add on a possible dip, that would be the time to do it. If we saw confirmation on a bounce there, sure enough, it happened. So if you guys are on the fence about being in the Chaos Crew, first of all, we'll let the folks in the chat let you know how the Chaos Crew is. But if you had any doubts or were on the fence about it, hopefully that provides you with a little bit more value. And you can hit the join button next to subscribe, or there's a link in the description as well. For $4.99 a month, you can't beat it. We'd love to have you guys over in the Chaos Crew. Darren Anderson says, you guys are the best, with a $10 donation. Bro, thanks so much, man. We really appreciate that.
B Hustle, little off topic. Hey, listen, any stocks on topic. Do you feel AT&T is a good buy currently? I like the dividend yield, ticker symbol T.
Yeah, if that's the biggest reason you're going to AT&T, then yes, I like AT&T as well. If you're looking for any kind of crazy growth out of the stock, then you might be a little bit disappointed. But the dividend yield is actually really great, so we like that one a lot, actually. We've talked about that in the past.
C-Buck says, buying Peloton with $100.01 limit just to get filled before Fat Man. That C-Buck's just trying me. Thanks to you guys. And Donna added more Tesla when you kept saying we won't see 400 level. Sony, good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Good you got in. Off the last roughly 70 watch list, Tesla featured the most 22 times.
Oh, somebody actually tracked it.
Rocket and Tesla.
Hey, listen, there's a reason for that, right? I mean, we're seeing it happen. We're seeing it play out right now. So, yeah.
Good research, Nick.
I like it, Nick.
Sony asked thoughts on adding Facebook.
I think Facebook's going to be a great ad. Bratz was saying put the thumbs up. Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind showing us some love and giving us a like, getting this video out there, we certainly would appreciate it. Facebook is tanking right now. Anybody have any idea why?
I do know that Twitter came out with news, but I can't anticipate that would be tanking. Twitter released that they are launching a new, it's not a platform, but it's like an add-on, which is supposed to be like stories feature.
Okay.
They're also adding a video share service as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That might be why. I guess maybe that's why they were in the running for TikTok for a little bit, because they were already looking for something.
Which I forgot to mention that, but go ahead. Go ahead and answer the question. I'll do it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Facebook is a buy. I mean, look, we're looking at this selling off, and if it's selling off because of that Twitter news, then this is all the more reason to look at this for a potential dip grab, because you see stuff like that come out. We saw, I mean, and this goes back in April when I was like, pounding my fist on the table on the desk about buying up Zoom at $116. Facebook had then come out with their video conferencing or video calling platform, and I said, this is not going to impact Zoom in the least. If this is the reason why Facebook is selling off, it's not going to impact Facebook in the least. I think it's just going to continue to do well. We've talked about how Facebook is doing really wonderful things as it relates to small business, and also really great developments on their IG platform with small businesses too. So I think it's going to be a buy. Look for it to maybe come back to around 272, but really right where it's sitting now, I think would be a great time to grab a starter and work your way in that way. Just looking at the daily, or the 4 hour rather, looks like it's been holding up pretty well up above 473 over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and a couple other pieces of information I'm seeing out there. The only reason I'm not sure if it's Twitter, because Twitter isn't having a corresponding move, which usually you'll see. It's pretty flat, but Zuckerberg and Dorsey are about to speak at Congress at 10 a.m. That could be a possibility.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
then Facebook also announced for Instagram that they're going to begin paying publishers, which could potentially eat into their financials. So, and that was announced a couple of minutes ago. So all that's happening at the same time. Who knows what the reason is, but none of them are material. This could be a good buying opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that all the time, right? About how, stocks that move down that, just it's kind of a silly reason to see it sell off. And this is, to me, is one of those silly reasons why it doesn't make any sense for it to be selling off this much. And I think, if you can play off the emotions of others, you'll probably be all the better for it. Bob Molly, welcome to Level 1. Welcome to the Chaos Crew, my man. Happy to have you, bro. Appreciate you.
Darren Anderson says, I've been with Brad for over 2 years. You can't take a course anywhere that brings you the value that you find here. Join the best. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
What's up, Benjamin? Bitcoin just passed 17K, says Big Felix.
Damn. Hasn't been this high since 2017, right?
Yeah. Wang Jiang, what does it mean when a stock is suspended on Webull?
Well, then you can't trade it on Webull. If it's suspended, it could be that it's just genuinely suspended. You can't trade it anywhere. That's on the gray sheets. But, I'd have to look at it. But usually if it's suspended, it's because it can't be traded. The SEC came down and suspended it, and you cannot trade it, period. Yeah, it hasn't been... I'm just looking at Bitcoin here real quick. I'm going to go back on the monthly. Yeah, it hasn't been this high since 2017, right? Yeah, this is...
Rockets at 22.95.
Boom, let's go. Wow.
22.96.
For those of you guys in Bitcoin, congrats to you guys. This thing is Jesus.
Funny pranks gone wrong. £2 donation. Here's your cut on the Tesla spike. Thanks. We'll gladly take our cut.
All right. So Rocket has now just passed over the pre-market highs here. So it looks like we're doing really well, getting up over that $22, $23 mark, I should say. $23 mark is going to be awesome. We've talked about Rocket getting up over 24. That is really kind of its the tough resistance. Oh, man, I'm going to love it. If it breaks $24, I'm just going to freaking do a happy dance right here in this chair. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Cannot wait.
Nick Hill said he's tempted to do something with Rocket. Sam Cisneros. Hey, fellas, is Target going down as well because of the Amazon pharmacy news?
Potentially because, maybe. Target has pharmacies, but they're actually run by CVS. So a few years ago, I would say probably like 2016, 2015, somewhere around there. Target made a deal with CVS basically to have their stores, CVS stores in Target. It used to just be run by Target Pharmacy. The only reason I know this is because I was a Target Pharmacy technician. So CVS came in, basically took the show over, but they still live in Target. So that could be one big reason why. But again, this is just another good opportunity, I think, to probably scoop up some Target, scoop up some Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, any of those. We think it's going to be a good opportunity to grab them for longer term. My paper route. Welcome to the Chaos Crew, my man.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is, I would imagine that Walmart's earnings had more to do than anything else.
Yeah.
Because that's anticipation of their earnings. Walmart's down almost 2%. They didn't really do anything that blew anybody away. People look at Walmart and Target, they kind of move in tandem. Similarly to your stocks like PayPal and Square,
right,
and Penn and DraftKings, although they're both kind of not mirroring each other today, but they tend to do that. All right, so James McCrea said, Rocket, I'll never doubt you again, Fat Man Soup. Hey, I'm not right 100% of the time. For sure.
But when we're right, you know about it, goddammit.
When I am like convicted, that's not the word. When I have like conviction in a stock, yes. Nick Hill.
Guys would love to hear your breakdown on WWE.
Give me a hell yeah.
I mean, look, WWE, I think, is probably one that may continue to do well. I don't know. I don't think that's a good one to rest your laurels on. It would have been awesome, I think, if the XFL didn't get killed by the Rona. I actually think that it finally had some traction to it, and then COVID came and just squashed it all, which was unfortunate. But if they are able to bring it back, I think maybe WWE would probably be worth investing in. But right now, it's just kind of like chilling. The tough part about this is that really the only revenue they have coming in is from just airing it on TV, and I don't know if, it's probably going to continue to hurt them if we have the second. Well, we do have this. We're pretty much in the middle of a second wave, and things are getting shut down again. So really kind of tough to determine if this is worth getting into right now. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Fat Man, but I think I probably would lump this in with like hospitality and that sort of thing, not being really something that we would touch right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I was just looking at Fastly. It's up nearly 5%. Somebody had mentioned it earlier. I think Latifah might have mentioned it earlier. A lot of stuff that's red right now, but there's a few in there that are plugging along. Lancer also.
Rocket being one of them. Zoom's still looking great too. Well above $400 still. Well, I would say well above, but just above $400. Looks like it could be bouncing here too. We've been talking about Zoom a lot, man, and it just,
yeah,
woo, looking good.
Yeah, I got my Peloton filled. It's doing something similar. Hopefully that this bounce sustains. Some things look like they're starting to come back.
Yeah, Tesla pulling back again here. Might try to retest this 450. Sitting at 454 right now, but I'm actually surprised in a sense. We talked about 450 being that support, but it would not have shocked me if we saw some major sell-off right out of the gate, almost like a buy the rumor, sell the news, because I think there was a lot of people that were anticipating that the S&P inclusion was going to happen at some point. And maybe I thought maybe there was going to be a lot of people that kind of got stuck in this mid to high $400 range when the split happened that just wanted to get out of it. So I actually am a little bit surprised that we didn't see a stronger sell-off because of that. And that it seems as if anybody who was in, whether you got in a little bit higher than others, doesn't seem to matter. They want to be in, and it doesn't matter what price they got in at, which is pretty encouraging to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter Foreman, I want more Penn. The 63 look like a good buy?
Yeah, actually 62.50 is really where 6250 is really where I liked it at. And we've talked about that being its support level. So I actually have that down here marked at 6250. It's come down and retested that a couple of times and has held that area really well, as you can see here. So I'm just going to say around 6250. If you want to get yourself a starter here, I don't see anything wrong with that. And then if, it holds that, I think that you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the ones I'm looking at today. Obviously, you guys know I got into Peloton. I'm looking at PayPal and I'm looking at Penn. So basically, the PPP play. That's how it works. I'm going to check in on the pharmacy stocks, see how they're doing. Yeah, they're kind of just settling down. Man, Rite Aid's down 13%.
I know, it's crazy.
I hope some of you guys took profit like we were talking about. Greedy bastards.
Don't let that greed get in the way of your green, right? Man, yeah, Fastly is moving. Still looking really good. Back up almost to over $80 a share again. That's awesome.
Palantir's up, FYI.
Oh, yes. We talked about Planter being a buy too after it sold off on earnings. 1677. Holy shit. That's where it's sitting right now. Went all the way up to 1720. Wow. Really good move out of them. I mean, so it's as if the earnings came out. You had one day where they just didn't really care for it all that much because of the way earnings were played out. But we talked about how we like Palantir for longer term anyway. But man, what a bounce back for them. That's awesome.
Trevor Sachs, is Costco's special $10 dividend on December 2nd divided like a normal quarterly, or is it really $10 for every share this quarter? So however many shares you have, you get $10 per share, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the other option is.
Yeah, I'm not sure I really understand the question a whole lot, but
so it's only now. So it's only a one-time deal,
right?
So it's not going to be $10 a share next quarter,
right?
Just this one time.
Okay,
you're getting $10 per share.
Maybe that's what the question was. Yeah, so it's just a special dividend. That's not. So this is why people go crazy over this, because it's never announced. Nobody knows when it actually comes out. Not even their employees know when it comes out, which is why their employees go crazy when this comes out. Because if you're an employee at Costco, and leave us a comment if you are, and if you're excited about this dividend, because Costco employees, they love reinvesting in the company that they work for. So for those folks that have Costco stock in their employee stock program, they're going to be making a bunch of money. So you do have the option, though, of cashing out that dividend still, just like if it was a regular dividend, or reinvesting it. Most people reinvest it. I think the wise decision would be to do that too, unless you really needed the money for some reason. But reinvesting $10 a share would be, it'll be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Garcia family, what's going on? We did cover Peloton by under $100.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so it looks like Rocket couldn't get above the pre-market high, back to 22.58.
Yeah, pulling back here a little bit. That's all good.
Stay green. All right, brother. Workhorse is moving too.
Yeah, all the EVs seem to move in response to Tesla getting into S&P. Not sure why. I mean, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but
looks like Tesla broke support. So Tesla's below 450 right now.
Ooh. All right. Let's take a look. Yep, 447.83. And could be coming back down to retest 435. I'd be surprised if it came all the way down to 435. But maybe it only comes back down to 443, or this could just be a brief moment below 450. We've seen that sometimes there's just a little bit of a fake out just below 450. So we'll see if that continues to hold. But what do you say about taking a break here now, Fat Man Zoom, and coming back this afternoon?
Sounds good.
Guys, we're going to go ahead and do that. Daniel Collins, welcome to the Chaos Crew. So we just wanted to go live today just to kind of talk about Tesla and a special event with Tesla and what we thought about the stock and where we see it going from here. We're actually going to be back, though, today at our regularly scheduled programming. I've always wanted to say that. At 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys want to come back, make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're hitting that notification bell because we will be back at 2 p.m. to talk about all the events that happened today, how everything's playing out, and also answering your questions as well. So thanks, guys, for hanging out. We certainly appreciate you, and we'll see you at 2 p.m.